SPX6900 has quietly smashed a new all-time high, and this is like a clean break of the all-time high. If you might recall, back in January when everything was pumping, this coin technically hit an ATH of like 1.63 billion or something right there. Then last week, we sort of tied it exactly, maybe just beat it by a little, maybe didn't beat it by a little, something like that. But the bottom line is it didn't cleanly break it until today. Sometimes you need to just like gently push, and then you have enough momentum, bam, you just plow through. We are at 1.70 billion. That is, as I said, a clean ATH. We are now number 58 in the top 100, moving our way up. This is the highest SPX has ever been. Obviously, a lot of the reason is because Ethereum has just literally been shot into the stratosphere today. It is up 9% on the day for a multi-$100 billion coin. That is a huge one-day jump. They almost never get into double-digit jumps, 8.7%, 24-hour. That is huge. And the best part is it still has like a lot to go until all-time high. Bitcoin is sitting at its all-time high, so you could argue that the upside is capped. Ethereum, its all-time high is a little bit over 4,000, and so I think that we're just going to keep pumping until we hit that. That being said, SPX is still the #1 top trending Ethereum coin, big or small, across all of DEX tools. So that is saying something. Now, before we get more into SPX and some fire tweets from the community, you definitely want to see those. Just a message from my exchange partner, BTCC. So it's July, and there are a bunch of new campaigns going on. They're always right down here on the website. Some of the ones that you should check out: the daily trading challenge. This one has about 4 days left. If you open up a $1,000 or more futures position and hold it for a certain number of days, you can get up to $30 cash back. This campaign is open to both new and experienced futures trades. And there's the buy crypto with Visa Mastercard. If you buy at least $400 with a Visa Mastercard, then you get $10 cash back. Definitely check those out. Now, if you want to sign up for any of those campaigns or just sign up for an account on BTCC and get up to $10,000 in bonuses, use my links right down there. And now, the weird part about SPX's rise, I mentioned this in yesterday's video, is that it's the only large blue chip meme which is anywhere close to its all-time high. So this chart, these numbers are as of yesterday. As of yesterday, SPX was 9% off its all-time high. Now it's obviously broken it, but we have to just go by yesterday's numbers because I can't reproduce this chart. But look at all these other memes it is compared to and how far off they are at from their all-time high. MOG, that's basically considered SPX's biggest rival. It's also on Ethereum. They're similar styled communities, etc. It is 54% off its all-time high. What else do we have here? Fartcoin, again, this was created, it's on Solana. It was created exactly the same time as SPX. It's 47% off its all-time high, and they're at similar market caps. Pudgy Penguins, this is one of the hottest coins of the last couple days. They had some big partnership announcements. 51% off its all-time highs. And then what else do we have? Bonk, again, one of the hottest coins of the last 2 weeks or so with the Bonk Fund token launch and everything. 55% off its all-time high. And then Pepe, what most people think is the biggest blue chip meme out there, it is still 56% off its all-time high. So what this means is that the community is not afraid to buy at all-time high. Usually when you hit an all-time high, you see a big sell-off. Not only are people not selling in XPX, you have a bunch of new buyers rolling in, like this guy right here, Big Doug Fonzie. He said he grabbed a bag of SPX at pretty much SPX's all-time high just because his thesis checked out. He listed a bunch of points right here that pretty much agree with my thesis and Murad's thesis, why SPX will outperform pretty much everything else. And then there's another example of people buying at all-time high. Like this guy said his 2 close friends of his changed their mind and joined the mission, and then those friends got 3 additional of their friends, so 5 new eons in just a few days at all-time high. That is saying something. Meanwhile, Murad's portfolio with the all-time high is now at an ATH itself. 56 million, just about 57 million right now. About 90% of his portfolio is in SPX. He does hold a few other coins like Giga, whatever, but 90% in SPX. And he was down to 12 million just a few months ago. What else do we have here? Ansem, he doesn't usually tweet about SPX too much. he gave it some attention today, saying SPX is making a new all-time high, and this is the best alt season indicator one could ask for. I would have to agree with that. If you're not familiar with Ansem, you should be. He has almost 1 million followers, probably the single most influential caller of meme coins, particularly low caps, medium caps, large caps of all size. What else do we have here? This person, Enclave, is getting love bombed randomly after zero interaction, self-imposed exile for a year and a half. So I guess he was in the SPX community like a year ago, didn't tweet once until right now, today, when it hit an all-time high, and then within like minutes, literally like 14 minutes, he already had 19 people minimum liking his post, and then it went well viral beyond that. That is what you call a loyal community. They remember, take care of each of their own. My timeline is all posts talking about an SPX6900 all-time high. Why am I not seeing it? No charts, no price. You got to stick with the basics right there. Then this guy here is doing the old Bitcoin SPX comparison. So he's in his 50s. He's older. He's been in crypto, it looks like around 10 years. And he says the SPX community is the only one that comes close to the diehardness of the Bitcoin community, and that Bitcoiners will never go to any other coin. All they talk about is Bitcoin. At the same time, these are people that have other stuff going on in their life. They're educated. They have full-time jobs like this guy does. They're not into get-rich-quick coins, low caps. They're just into putting their hard-fought money into something they can trust that it is going to go up and just be a part of a community that they want to be in. No other community other than this one. So that's a great comparison, right? And now here is Murad giving some of the specific metrics that SPX has an advantage over other coins. Give it a listen.
SPX6900 ranks #1 on every single criterion. #1 in on-chain data, #1 in memetics, #1 in mission, and above all, by far the most diehard community of the cycle. If you want to succeed this cycle, join SPX6900 now.
And that is it for this SPX update video. SPX community, drop a comment down below, say hi, link subscribe if you haven't already. I'll be back later with a new video. BenCrypto signing out. Catch you later.